Well, hey everyone, and welcome to the show. If this is your first time, I'm so glad you have joined me. And if you are a 3-year listener, I appreciate you and your support. As you can see, I am not in the same location as I normally am. This is actually up north in northern Arizona, where it's a nice, crisp 40 degrees this evening. And literally trying to get this in because the mom and me and the family girl is getting set up and getting ready to host Thanksgiving dinner up here in our cabin. And so I have 1,000 things to do, but I wanted to get on because a valuable lesson learned this past weekend, and I thought I would share it with you. I hope you are doing well before we jump into this podcast. And I hope that you are able to travel and do the things you need to do and want to do for this holiday season. And I hope that this podcast finds you well. So this past weekend, we were blessed to be able to go to Las Vegas and enjoy the F1, first time ever F1 races there. And it was, it didn't go off without a total, no hitches. There were a few hitches the first night of races, but without a doubt, it was the most cool experience ever. If you know anything about Vegas, it is definitely a place where a couple days is all you really need. And if you're from Vegas, I'm sorry, but as a person that visits often, there's only so much that I can take. I am an extrovert, but sometimes Vegas is better in small chunks you can chew. And so with that being said, there are lots and lots of people everywhere. And as an amputee, with all the stairs, the escalators, the moving ramps, etc., and all the elevators, and people for this race, people speaking all languages, so they were coming from all over the world. The germs are high. And yes, yours truly got sick mid-weekend. And I will tell you, in all honesty, I can't remember the last time I was sick. I'm never sick. I am very fortunate, knock on wood. I'm not sick. I don't get sick. I am healthy. I have a healthy lifestyle. But we, as an amputee, like I said, I am touching every railing. It doesn't matter if my husband carries around antibacterial lotion. I touch every railing. It makes me feel gross. I just know it's gross. And, I don't know how many times I did stairs. Well, as an amputee, I try to go step over step, but I need to hold the railing because I have to drive down with my leg, and it's not glamorous. So I need stability, and railings are being held. Normally, if I had 2 legs, I wouldn't touch a railing or an escalator railing for anything. Not anywhere, airports or anywhere. But as an amputee, I am full on touching everything. So it's not surprising that this weekend of all weekends, but it hit hard and fast. So doing great Wednesday, did great Thursday, Friday was even great, but slowing down and I think tired because the races were starting at 8:30 and midnight. So that's way past my bedtime. To be honest, I used to have those hours, not anymore. So I was already tired and run down. Saturday was horrible. And I bring this up because I think I learned a valuable lesson, and I wanted to share it because it may not be for everyone, but in my personal experience, which this is what this podcast is about, is I use my personal experience to enlighten you. If this helps you, then great. But because I have never been sick as an amputee, and that's saying something. It's been almost 5 years. Next month it'll be 5 years. And I will tell you that it wreaked havoc on my phantom pains. Honest to God truth. It's bad enough when you feel nauseous and tired and your skin is hurting. That sensitivity. My back muscles were aching, lower back muscles aching. But to then have phantom sensations like I did, phantom pains like I did, it's like it takes a cake. There's you want to lay down, but I didn't want to take my leg off, because when I take my leg off, then it's a whole ordeal to put it back on. And I knew I didn't have the energy to do that. I mean, I was wiped. And Saturday and Sunday were horrible. And it was not helpful to have phantom pains too. And they really were ramped up. And so I thought that even though this is going to be a short a short podcast, and I'm getting better, like I'm like straight to the point, and that's what I've been trying to do, is keep it short and simple. Plus there's a lot of other things going on. I have a lot still to do tonight before I can go to bed, and then tomorrow is a lot of baking. But I did want to get on and just share this with you, because we are now coming into a season where you're traveling a lot more, you're out and about, people are coming over. Inevitably, whenever we've gone home for Christmas to Chicago, someone in the family is sick, and we get sick, we take it back with us. It just, someone in our family does get something every time. And I know it's a shift from our Arizona weather to Chicago weather, but I think a lot of it also has to do with travel and the fact that we are touching more things as amputees, like touching more things, getting our hands dirtier, and not thinking twice about that, because you can only put hand sanitizer on so many times while you're moving. You know, I'm constantly focused on my footing and carrying baggage and getting through the traffic of people, that, you know, you're not thinking, oh, I was touching a railing, hand sanitizer. And you know, maybe wait till you get to your rental car or whatever. But I just thought, you know, what an apropos time to be talking about sick and tired. And so what we tend to do, and if you're like me, you run yourself ragged during the holidays, right? We overbook, we overextend ourselves, we don't say no to things, we want to please everybody, we're doing stuff for everybody, we're doing things for our family, we're doing things that we would love to do, but you are constantly going from, well, for me, it's pretty much from Halloween through New Year's Eve, right? It's constantly going. In that time frame with travel and extending ourselves to the brink of exhaustion, we make ourselves more vulnerable to picking up being sick. And when that happens, it takes us down a notch. And so when I wanted to talk about was the fact that we need to take care of ourselves during this time frame. And yes, I'm speaking to myself, because I'm the last person that thinks about taking care of myself. I figured I'll take care of myself January 1st. And that's usually my momentum through the holidays, is when January 1st comes, I'll slow down a little bit. But you also know that that's not true either, and something else picks up, because we can't run hard and then just halt, right? It never just stops. So for me, it's like, well, what's the next challenge? What's the next thing? What's the next travel? And so I will challenge you. Last week I threw out a challenge, and if you're into it and you want to, check on my social media, check last week's podcast. I put in a link to join a 100-mile challenge to finish between now and the end of 2023, December 31st. And you can do it any way you want. And truly, it is a virtual challenge meant to challenge yourself versus yourself. Learning to do something for you, which even means, if it means taking time out to go and take a walk every day, even a casual walk, but it allows you your own personal space and time to quiet your brain, to move your body, to slow the motion down, and even to run through things, to slow things down in your head and to get some perspective, then join me in this challenge. I've already registered for the challenge. I cannot wait to get started. Well, actually, I'm started. I don't even know where my miles are after being around Vegas and walking miles upon miles upon miles around Vegas for 5 days. I can't wait to tally mine up. But literally, we got back Sunday. I was sick all day yesterday. Finally felt good today. Grocery shopped, got up to the cabin. That is all I've done since Vegas. So I need to get myself going. But I challenge you to end 2023 spending time thinking about your own physical and mental well-being. And that is not an easy task, I know. Just all the things that I do during the holidays, I can't imagine I'm the only one. So if I'm speaking to you, then maybe this is the challenge for you. And the best part is, if you don't have the money to get the medal, that's fine. You can still join my challenge. I have a private Facebook group you can join. Fierce and on Fire is what it's called. You can reach out to me. But I would challenge you to make time for yourself every day to move. And I don't mean bustling around the kitchen. I mean just moving yourself from point A to point B, doing nothing but thinking about yourself. Slowing things down and being just at one with where you're at. And even if it's only a half an hour or whatever it takes for you to walk a mile or two or do what you do. And that's the best part about these challenges. The reason I picked this, as an amputee, I said last week that I use virtual challenges to get myself up and moving on my prosthetic leg, because if I didn't challenge myself, then I wasn't going to get better at using it. And if I didn't get better at using it, I wouldn't have been able to cope with how hard and painful at times it was, and uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable. And then once I got out and started doing it every day, I started realizing good days from bad days. And good days didn't mean there was no pain. Good days just meant they were much better. You started learning what your baseline was. And as an amputee, you don't ever have just normal days. There's no such thing as everything's perfect. Like, it's as good as it will get. That's my new perfect. But perfect is having my own leg there working. So I will never have that. Therefore, I needed my baseline. And the only way to find a baseline and what's good versus bad and what's best is to use it every day and know the good from the bad. I used virtual races because I knew that if I had the carrot in front of me, the little medal, that was really cool looking, that I got to choose and whatever, and I could do it on my own terms and do the activity I wanted. At the very beginning, it was just, I'm going to do this whole virtual challenge with my prosthetic on. It'll just be everyday walking miles, walking through the kitchen, going to the bathroom, getting groceries, but not necessarily going out and walking 2 miles. That's how I started. And then it got to, okay, I'm literally going to do a 5K, 3.2 miles today. I'm walking it as fast as I can. And then it got to the point where I tried to walk it faster every time and beat my records. And I started competing against myself and getting better and better. And then I shifted to, this race will only be done with my running blade. Whether I run or walk, it doesn't matter, but I'm going to get used to my running blade. And then it was, run as much of this as you can. And you see where I'm going with this? Like, that's how I got better at using my prosthetic. Now, I know some of you are medically challenged right now, but that does not mean you can't be active. Even if it's taking a band, those are like the exercise bands, and doing upper mobility activities, that is still movement and healthy for your mind and your body. And that's what I'm challenging you to. So even if you do, let's say it's 15 minutes of exercise is a mile, and you do 30 minutes of exercise, that's 2 miles. Can you do 30 minutes of exercise for 2 miles a day to equal 2 miles a day? Everybody can. If it gets you off the couch, gets you out of the kitchen for a few minutes, gets you off your I've got to get done list, just so you can focus on you, then I want you to join me. Join me on the Fierce and on Fire challenge now, because we only have so much time left of this year, and I don't want to see any of you guys get sick like I did this last week, be laid up. And if you're an amputee like me, I would be really interested to hear this. If anybody else felt the same way that when you've gotten sick. And this goes back to a podcast I did a few weeks ago when I talked about stress and what stress does for our phantom pains. Well, guess what? Stress, either if it's self-imposed or externally imposed upon us because of our relationships, work, or whatever, or if it's internal stress, our body being sick stresses our body out. Stress is horrible for phantom pain, just horrible. So I would liken my weekend debacle and being sick to my body stressing out and not handling it well, and it equating to bad phantom pain. And I'd be very interested to find out if other people have felt that way when they've gotten the flu, gotten COVID. I'm very interested to hear from you. So if you've had any of that, please reach out to me, because I'm dying to know if that was my own personal experience or if that is a common thing. But I think that we need to take care of ourselves during these holidays, because this is when we end up working ourselves to being sick, and our bodies just don't need that. And so if we can stay healthy, we can stay happy. And when we're happy, phantom pains go away. It's kind of you get this for this. And so I challenge you the next couple months, not even a month and a half, to join me. The Fierce on Fire Challenge is 100 miles. But like I said, can be done hiking, biking, swimming, walking, running, exercising, skiing, sledding, whatever it is that gets you moving for yourself, not for other purposes, then you should join the challenge. If you don't want to register for it, then don't, but join me and let me know you've joined me. If you want to register, then you'll love the medal. The medal is really freaking cool, and I actually got one of the tank tops to go with it. So you can look on the link from last week's my last week's podcast, but you can also go on to my Instagram account and you can also click on the links there, and it is actually in my bio. So, like I said, we need to take care of ourselves during the holiday season. I need to take care of myself because I'm no good to anybody. As I noticed the last couple days, I couldn't even drive home from Vegas. So my husband did most of the driving. My one son did pick up the pace and get the ending done. But I felt bad because I couldn't pull my own weight, and I don't like doing that. So if you're like me and you want to stay fit and strong and healthy and happy through the holidays, please, please, please take care of yourself. Carve out a half an hour every day for you, doing something that gets you moving, doing something that makes you feel good. And let's keep away the germs and the being tired and overworked and the sick. Keep that at bay, because no one needs that, right? And it will help you, especially if you are an amputee. If what I felt is not uncommon, it'll help keep away the phantom pains. Because I'll tell you what, there's like I said, I haven't been sick in so long that it just kills me that I was feeling that miserable. And then to top it off, my leg was on fire. Like, it felt like my foot was in burning coals, and it was constantly on a high intense burn, and you can't do anything about it. So you're dealing with the stomach, you're dealing with the skin issues, you're dealing with the muscle tension, and then you're dealing with that. It's like, forget about it. And the headaches, right? And for the first time in a long time, I couldn't keep my eyes open. So that's not good. I don't want to ever go back there. I'm glad that I haven't been sick in a long time, but that just sucked. Plain old sucked. But I guess I'm happy that it's done and over with, and I'm hoping now I'm building up and being stronger. I mean, I feel and look great. Like, I don't feel like I did even yesterday. So I guess I'm on the mends. Got the energy back, and that's a good thing. What are you guys doing for Thanksgiving this week? Anybody traveling? And if you are, make sure you bring antibacterial. Like, get that lotion going. Make sure you wash your hands. And, don't be paranoid, though. Like I said, I'm not a paranoid person, but dang, that was the first time I've been hit hard. And all I can think about is all the railings that I was handling in Las Vegas and the thousands of people that I was brushing past everywhere we went. So take care of yourself. Make sure you get the sleep you need. Make sure that you don't expend more of the energy than you have, because when we get lacking of sleep and that energy level goes down, we are more susceptible to being sick and being taken over by that. And no one wants to spend the holidays sick. That is absolutely no fun. So I hope that you have a fabulous Thanksgiving weekend. If you celebrate Thanksgiving weekend, I have some friends up in Canada. They've already done theirs. But if not, a happy holidays to everybody. Stay healthy, stay happy as always. And like I said, check out last week's podcast for the link, or go into my bio on Instagram under Be a Warrior 360. and click in there and you can join my Fierce and on Fire challenge that runs till December 31st. I hope you'll join me. I hope you're doing fabulous. I'm sorry for the short podcast, but I still have things to get done tonight before I can go to bed, and I know I need my sleep. So cheers to you all. Happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving, and as always, be healthy, be happy, be you.